What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 92 of the Chumpcast. We've got a full Chump Cave this week as the crew is back, along with longtime guest, drunk-ass Erica. It would be safe to call this our musical episode, even though the last thing I wanted to hear was another bad rendition of a 2000s pop song. More importantly, we discussed Ryan Reynolds' latest box office killer, Deadpool 2. You won't want to miss Brick trying to sell us on why it was better than Infinity War. For next episode, we want your choice for an obscure Star Wars character that should have their own solo origin story. Maybe you like a Max Rebo or a Lobot. Maybe the Sarlacc Pit deserves a coming-of-age tale. You decide, then send it to us via social media at the Chumpcast. You can also call or text us at 847-920-6107. If you leave us a good enough voicemail, you might hear yourself on a future episode. If you want to support the show, you can find our merch at thechumpcast.com. We always appreciate kind reviews, subscriptions, and ratings on Apple Podcasts. You can also shop on Amazon through our affiliate link at thechumpcast.com/Amazon. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go dig out my old O-Town CDs.
Like
dirty pop, dig it thick, you can't stop. And then you want that dirty pop.
This must be.
Let's go. Are we recording?
It'd be so much better if any of you know the words.
Why you always try to classify the type of things we do? Like a survey for you. All right.
Dude, this is a record. We are 10 seconds in, and this is a clusterfuck.
I love it already.
We're all just here to make Ryan as mad as possible.
Super pissed off.
Mission accomplished. Do you guys want to talk about what actors you fought in the last couple of weeks?
Who did you fight?
Nobody. But we did have a misdirect.
Explain.
Did you get text messages like, did he actually fight this guy?
I actually didn't. I saw something on Facebook.
I did. I actually did.
My sister texted me and was like, why were you being a dick to this guy?
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
And I'm like, you can't tell that this is set up? Like,
Good
you
job,
really think I
Nikki.
would
I'm
invite
proud
someone
of
into my
you.
house and just try to fight them?
When we posted it, I listened to it and felt super awkward. And I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, my
It's really
sister texted me. She was like, I have like brutal secondhand embarrassment. I can't even listen to the episode. I was like, just listen. You'll be fine.
I have a friend. Her name is Raquel.
What'd she think
was
about it?
like, was this fight for real? I was like, well, you're just going to have to listen and find out.
See, that's what we don't need, is people texting you to ask if it's real. Just listen to the fucking episode. That's the whole point.
My sister's like, yeah, he probably did get in a fight. I remember he went to Boss Bar that one night with me, and he was going to fight this guy at the pool table.
That guy was a shitbag.
He was. And I went home because it was my birthday, and I was dying of pneumonia and being blacked out.
So I wasn't actually here when you guys trolled Robin, which was kudos to you guys because that's actually funny. But the first thing that came to mind was when I did see Smith fight for the first time. It was a drunk Hackett in our fraternity house. And I, being the instigator that I am, was like, yo, Hackett, you should go fight Smithers right now. And he was like, okay, dude. And so in a matter of 1 second, Smith turned him around and actually put him to sleep in 1 second. And it was
do tell more.
hilarious.
You really
Do
put him
tell
to sleep,
more.
like in a sleeper hold? Like,
Yeah, but he was gone.
Yeah, it was just a rear naked choke.
Oh,
you're so cool, dude.
I'm not the one that brought the
NBD.
story up.
I had him in a trial. It was a rear naked choke. He tapped out in 3 seconds, but I didn't
did
stop.
a flying triangle on him.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Reverse back kick.
The funniest part was that afterwards, 2 other guys in the kitchen were like, you couldn't do that to me.
Joe Collins, probably.
It was Mitch and Buxton. And I put both of them to sleep.
Those names are so gay.
What?
Wow.
Mitch
Drunk
and
Erica
Buxton?
living up to the name
Yo.
from the jump.
Big Buxton?
Mitch and Buxton.
Yeah.
This kid's name was Buxton?
His
Yes.
last name is.
Oh, all right.
Good Lord.
Do you know
Oh my
a gay
God.
person named Buxton that you can just like correlate this
That's a
to?
good
Or
gay
just
name.
like, you know what? Buxton sounds like a real gay name.
I don't know. It just
Spell Buxton.
sounded silly.
Spell Buxton.
Your mom?
It's with an
Wow.
X. The Buxton is with an X.
Like X-Force.
This is the worst intro ever.
You could probably just start it up again and we can actually just like do it.
Or you can just keep recording and he can cut what he doesn't want to play.
That's
That's
Easy
true.
for you to
Don't
say.
be a lazy piece of fucking fucker. Fucking God. on.
Says the guy who hasn't been in the studio in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Probably because you're a fucking.
I gotta do my laundry.
Can you?
I don't even remember where we were.
We were starting over. I'm pretty sure.
Jesus Christ.
I think we should cut Super Fight and just keep riffing some bullshit. Just to piss off Smithers. Why you gotta try and classify the type of shit?
Yo, that
we
is the
do?
biggest throwback song of all time.
Dirty Pop.
Is that the worst song on that album?
Are you shitting me? It's the best.
I don't know. Should we play the whole album right now for the listeners?
That was definitely not the best song on that album.
Dirty Pop was a fucking banger.
Mm.
Were you more of a Backstreet
Oh.
Boys or NSYNC
NSYNC,
gal?
well,
That's a
I'm
hard
going
one.
back on that. I don't know. I think
Wow.
it was like 50-50.
That's not the question.
what
you
about-
just fucking Ryan Smith me with the
Ooh,
question?
I did. You're right. I did.
Yeah.
Bam, bam, bam,
Answer the
bam,
fucking
bam,
question.
I don't know. I really liked both. Okay.
She panics. 98 degrees. Oh my god.
I was
Wait.
more of an
Okay,
O-Town
wait, though.
guy.
Hold on.
O-Town.
Oh, no. O-Town was trash.
What about
O-Town had
LFO?
trash.
Straight up trash. 98 degrees, though. Let me tell you.
Get out of here.
hardest
It was
thing I've ever
LFO
had
or
to do.
nothing.
LFO.
Oh, I can
Scooby Doo
sing
wops
that
and
whole
Scooby
song.
snacks. Met a
Met
fly girl and I can't relax.
Mm.
I don't need the reprise. I just
No, you do.
I know almost every song from that.
All or Nothing by O-Town.
I almost
That
started
was
singing. And
that
I
was
didn't.
a banger at the school dances.
Cause I
Opposite
want it
of banger.
all.
What about Jesse
Huh?
McCartney?
Maybe not banger.
Isn't he trying music still or something?
Jesse McCartney.
He's attempting.
Who-
You don't know Jesse McCartney?
I have a question. Who would win in a fight? 98 degrees, Backstreet Boys, or NSYNC?
Can we throw Aaron Carter in there?
Well, there was only one of him. There
There-
are 3 guys in 98 degrees.
Okay, so let's
there
just
are
say
5 in NSYNC
Okay,
and Backstreet
okay.
Boys.
However, Aaron Carter was on a lot of drugs, so I think that he could do a lot of damage.
We're
I
talking
think at
about
the time, though.
we're talking about 14-year-old Aaron Carter. We're not
Oh.
talking about 31-year-old Aaron Carter here.
Like Aaron's party, Aaron Carter.
yeah.
So let's
like
just
Raise
say-
the Roof.
I'll set the
Aaron
scene.
Carter.
NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, what's the other one? At 98 degrees?
Yep.
They're all at Aaron Carter's
Party.
fucking house party.
They're at their little brother's party.
Keep setting the stage, Brick.
Kinda.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, what's
Okay.
happening? What's
All of a
happening?
sudden, someone starts busting out a song and someone didn't hit a cue and now shit's popping off.
Oh, this is the dance fight?
No, it's both a dance fight that turns into a real fight. Who is the last man standing?
There's got to be that one guy in the crowd that's a huge instigator. What did he say to really get these guys pushed over the edge?
It was Eminem.
Okay. What did he say to them?
Lose yourself. and
Probably
lose
something
it.
about Kim being a slut.
We respect women.
It's like, I shit on your jean jacket, bitch.
Anyways, back to the end result. I think it's Backstreet Boys because they were clearly 10 years older than the NSYNC guys.
You might be right.
And have you seen their outfits on the Millennium album? How epic they
All
look.
jean,
All like white jean get up.
Canadian tuxedos.
And they're wearing
across the
those,
board.
what are the hats? The like boat hats that are, you know what I mean?
Weren't they
Like the
Cowboy
rim
hat?
all around.
Is that a
Fedoras.
cowboy hat?
No, it's not a fedora. It's like a fishing hat. They're white.
They didn't have white
Pull it.
fishing
Bucket hats.
Yeah, they did.
No,
Bucket
you're
hats.
lying.
Yeah, they did.
No.
Which album are you talking
Millennium. Backstreet
They
Boys.
have white
Millennium.
fishing hats on.
They're
Come
bucket
on.
Boat hats.
No,
Yeah.
I don't
They're
think
bucket
so.
hats.
They're definitely not fishing.
about? They're not
hats.
wearing any hats at all.
Fuck. Who is wearing a bucket hat? But they're wearing all white, right?
Yes,
Okay.
that was so satisfying.
0 hats to be seen.
Hey, don't sleep on
Suck
Joey
it.
Fatone. Joey Fatone has some
Suck it,
fucking
Mark.
heft to him.
Shit.
He was like the 30-year-old.
Yeah, he got some heft.
Now that I think about it, I was wearing a bucket hat when I bought the CD. So
That makes so much more sense.
that's where it went wrong.
Everybody's wearing bucket hats.
You probably tried to tell yourself that all the cool people were wearing bucket hats.
He's like this, Backstreet back. All right.
Oh.
Just
He's got
fucking
like fishing
bucket hat.
lures and his hat and shit.
Amazing.
Someone's
All
like,
right.
yeah, that's a fisherman's hat, you
Back on
loser.
track.
Is that a pond in the background? It's very
a
soothing.
fountain.
I was thinking like a koi pond, just with
My parents have one of
floating
those.
dead koi fish.
Jesus.
Because Michael Scott
Just-
fell into it.
Why do you ask me every movie if this satiated my bloodlust?
Just murdered koi fish in your pond, you son of a bitch.
Can we move on?
All right, let's go.
Listener submissions. 2 weeks ago, we asked everybody who in Hollywood was secretly a robot. I think this is one of our most participated in questions that we've done thus far. Do you agree?
It was great. Great participation. Thank you guys.
So as always, we will kick this off with our voicemail choice. You guys ready?
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, it's Fluffy Fox again. The robot celebrity is definitely gotta be Oprah. She was produced in secret by Weight Watchers to fool the masses. That's why she gains and loses weight. It's very advanced technology. It's also why she's never been able to keep a boyfriend. Well, because she's a robot, and that's just weird.
Ouch.
And Futurama says that robot love is unclean. Also,
Proposition
she
infinity.
never really, she ages, but she doesn't really seem to fully age. But I think it's really the weight loss thing has really worked out well
Or she's a
for
robot.
Weight Watchers.
I feel like I
There's
have to
crazy
disagree
voicemail.
with that.
All right, bye.
No, I
My
like that
mom
submission.
always said, if there was a weight loss solution, Oprah would be thin. And
Wow.
Oprah's never been thin. So I have to disagree with that.
I disagree with you on that.
Oh, yeah?
Because I am naturally big boned. My ass is fucking huge.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, I'm a thick person.
That's
Says
not
the
true.
guy that knew that the Taco Bell by my house was under construction before I knew.
Big boned.
Yeah.
Big boned, and I have great
So,
awareness. So I know.
Oprah has all the money in the world. If she wanted to be thin, she would.
No, if she had all the money in the world,
No.
she'd be eating steaks everywhere she fucking
She
goes.
would be thin, though.
All right,
You
isn't
can
that her
eat
point,
steaks
though?
and be thin.
Isn't that her point, though, is that she has all the money in the world and she's still not thin and that she's a robot put out there from Weight Watchers?
Wouldn't Weight Watchers want to...
No, because
They
it'd be
want,
fake
like,
news.
Oh, they want fake
Kirstie
news?
They want somebody to get fat and then get thin
Yeah,
again.
but Oprah's never been thin, is
She's
what
been
I'm trying to say. No.
Thin-ish. She lost weight.
I mean,
Look,
she's
I don't know.
lost and gained weight on
I
a
don't fucking
regular
know.
While
basis.
you guys are all talking
yes.
about this, all I'm thinking about is how she would make the reveal of her leading a robot army against humanity.
She would just peel her
yeah,
face
for
off
sure.
like Terminator.
She
style.
would be
Sure.
in front of the crowd, be like, "You guys ready for the prize? You guys ready for what you're going to get today?" Her face would open up, a bazooka would just slowly protrude out her
get a
face. She'd
nuke.
be like, "You're going to die! You're going to die! You're going to die!" Boop, 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 boop. Everyone's, "Oh my God." All right. That's how
That
my
was
brain
the
works.
most amazing thing I've ever heard, and I totally agree with
I
you.
figured she would fucking use the O network to mind control people.
Okay,
That too.
I'm not arguing that she's not a robot. All I'm saying is she could be thinner
All right.
if
Wow.
she wanted
Wow.
to be.
This is why women can't advance in society.
Okay,
Because you're always
okay.
bringing
You
each
know
other
what?
down.
That's
She
not
could be a
okay,
thinner
come on,
robot.
Come
I
on,
guess.
come on.
Is there a slim model of that robot? Got a little too much skin on her.
Former co-host and guest, Ben, texted in and said, "Hey, I've been thinking about which celebrity is a robot, and is there a more obvious celebrity than Gary Busey?" The good thing about getting text messages from our listeners is that they can attach GIFs.
Gifts.
He sent me the most crazy Gary Busey fucking out of control video ever.
He's like a robot that has like a wire missing and like it's like a disconnect and he's like on a twitch.
That's perfect.
He was a normal person, and then he got into a motorcycle accident,
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
and now he's all,
Loony?
yes.
Was he wearing a helmet?
No.
Obviously not.
Not smart.
Now he's a robot.
Dark turn.
Yeah. Way to really uplift everybody.
I got one. Instagram, Usagi Yojimbo. He didn't really give a reason, but he said Zuckerberg. But I'm going to comment on this because there are some great memes and videos out there of the Zuckerberg interrogation or whatever you want to call it, the conference, I'll call it, whatever. But they're asking him a
Congressional
question.
hearing.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
Nerd.
I was expecting Jesse Eisenberg to be up on the stand, not going to lie, when I turned it on. Kind of upset about that.
That's fair.
They started doing like the cuts. They were cutting up the video and they made it to where some guy was just voicing over like, "Zuckerberg, can you please blink once if you understand?" It's just him doing that creepy ass smile and just blinking once. Like, can
Did you
give
see him sitting on like a booster seat?
Yeah.
Was that
That's his
real?
charge. That's his
Not a
charge
good look.
station.
Was
They
that real?
charge up his butt.
He was for real sitting on a booster seat?
It was like a butt pillow.
Or it was a battery
No.
to charge
Not a good
his
look.
robot
It was one
body.
of those wireless charging pads. It was a keypad. All right, our guy Darian texted in and said, Ben Affleck, specifically when he was in the movie The Accountant and just in everyday life. So not specifically when he was in The Accountant. But that's fine. I think he just seems really formulated. Look at the Sad Flack interview and how he just exited the Batman role. It's one thing to be professional, but he's just dry as shit. He's a quiet dude that can grow one hell of a beard, but does charity work in Africa. It's all front. Look at the nonstop stone face. Look at his gum to teeth ratio. It's all a sham. You got me with the gum to teeth.
Yo,
That's a
you've,
good point.
you've thought about this, Darian. Like, I'm kind of believing it now.
Him and the accountant, though.
Max Jacobson 678 says Tom Cruise, which I feel is just a layup.
He's the guy who's the Scientologist. That's like a little too out there.
Is he too weird? Is he too weird to be a robot?
I think so. Plus, he does his own stunts. I don't know. That doesn't seem like a robot
like,
thing.
If you're a robot, it's like Westworld, right? You die, they just fix you.
Yeah, but if he were to break something, he would clearly be outed as a robot. Like, yo.
Well, he did break his ankle on the set of Mission Impossible.
That's true.
I'm going to revert back to Instagram and
most likes,
address
likes.
the one that received the most likes from L.A. Dracule, or La Dracule. Sorry if I butchered that. She said Anna Kendrick. Anna Kendrick, terrible actress who keeps getting cast in movies with more talented actors, but never bothers to learn anything from them.
If I'm going to be honest, I don't really have that many thoughts about Anna Kendrick. I mean, she was like fine in
Pitch Perfect.
all the Pitch Perfect movies.
1, 2,
they
3,
were
4,
okay.
8. Yeah.
I mean, the first one was great. After that, it was like, whatever.
Never seen him.
I don't really have that much of an opinion on her to say or a comment. So I'm going to go with no comment.
Wow.
What else has she been in?
I don't know.
But I would say we would have made a good crew in Pitch Perfect based on our Instinct song earlier. That definitely didn't get cut and hopefully stayed in the shows.
All right. One of my favorites. Engine 26 Studios, Keanu Reeves. I'm convinced actually possesses the Time Stone, and it really is Doctor Strange.
Dude, Keanu Reeves does not get older.
He is.
This guy's
he's a vampire, though. He's not a robot.
Yeah, he's not a robot because he interacts with the public on a daily basis. Like he's that guy that rides the train every day, and you see him on the train. Yeah, so he's not a robot.
Have you seen the picture from like the 1700s where it's a guy that looks exactly like him at the same age?
No, but you need to post it on our Instagram.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
So
he's a robot.
He's a guy that's unnoticeable, just humble. You wouldn't pick him out from a crowd.
Well, you
Sounds
do
like
and
a
you
robot.
don't. Like because he interacts with the public. Like when you see him on the train, he'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm Keanu Reeves." He's
too recognizable to just blend in.
Right. So people acknowledge him, but he's so chill about it. Like he's that guy that's riding the train, but he'll just be like, "Yeah, I know I'm Keanu Reeves, but I'm on the train."
I think he's a vampire.
I don't think he's a robot.
I don't think he's a vampire because he filmed like the replacements during the day. Vampires daytime doesn't make sense.
I mean, that's a really old school vampire theory.
All right, Ben was with us at C2E2, and he texted in, easily Rob Lowe, the quote-unquote man, hasn't aged in decades, and he's luring everyone into a false sense of security with his perfectly programmed charm.
I 100% agree with this. Has anyone ever watched Parks and Recreation? He's 1,000,000% a robot.
A brilliant character.
Do you remember when we were talking about going to the Super Troopers 2 premiere? We were like, what if Rob Lowe is here? Like, what do I say to him? I don't know what to do.
You just get lost in his eyes, which is just him being a robot controlling you.
Like you've got Emmanuel Shikri there, who is gorgeous. No. What if I meet Rob Lowe?
Rob Lowe steals the show. I'm a rapper.
I was upset we didn't get to meet him, by the way. God damn it.
That's okay.
Also, humble brag, I get to go to a fucking premiere.
You were invited.
I got one. All right, I'm going to go back to Instagram. Kyle A. Robinson, 51, says Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees. He's 6'7", 280 pounds, a stud, a savage. But think about this. He went to Fresno State University. Where's Fresno State? In the heart of Silicon Valley.
Dun, dun, dun.
Damn, he could be programmed. My man hits bombs.
Yeah, he has a stick.
I see you're Aaron Judge, and I raise you Bartolo Colon.
Just because he's so fat.
Did you see him take a fucking line drive to the gut the other day?
I saw that actually yesterday, yes.
Robot.
Or big gut.
No, because any real human being would have doubled over and been like, oh, I'm fucking dying. That hit me in the liver.
That's not true.
Bartolo
what about
Colon.
those guys who take like the cannonballs to the guts?
Yeah, true.
Those guys that are all dead now?
True.
Bartolo Colon's not going to live till he's 90. My man's a famp.
He's like in his 70s.
Bartolo Colon is not in his 70s.
And why
Nobody knows how old he is. That's the thing.
Why would a robot have hair like that? Seriously.
Because it doesn't know any better.
True, but no.
Do you have a Hollywood robot?
Do I?
Any of you?
Bender from Futurama.
That's an actual robot.
The robot?
She's got you there.
The robot?
Cameron
I
Diaz.
noticed that nobody has said robot during this sequence.
Because we are not old Jewish men.
The robot?
Robot?
The robot.
I've never said said robot in my life.
Because
Robot.
you're not an old Jewish man.
I would
Robot?
expect that coming from Ryan, who says GIF for a GIF.
Yeah, what a psychopath.
All right, I would say Cameron Diaz. I could just picture her face just opening up and just a spider tongue eating you.
Oh yeah,
But-
for sure.
Well, that's some fucked up shit. She also has just a perfect, her in the mask is just, she's a perfect specimen.
no. Wait,
That's
what?
Right.
Yep.
But
Wait, what did
robots
you
don't
say?
age.
Cameron Diaz?
Oh,
You think she's Asian
I was thinking
bad?
Candace Cameron.
Is she? I haven't seen her recently.
Either have I.
From The Mask to the last move that she's done.
She's not acting anymore.
The sun's
I just
melted her.
don't think she gets work anymore.
No,
Didn't she do that
No.
bad teacher movie?
she's not
With
acting anymore.
Justin Timberlake?
Look it
yeah.
up.
Yeah, she was good looking in that.
Yeah,
Look
she
it
was
up.
decent.
She's not acting anymore.
Compared to The Mask?
I said in the mask she was perfect. Now she's just a very attractive person.
That's what I mean, though, is robots don't age.
But you do if you like get stuck in the sun for a while. Your shit melts, man.
Good point. Not.
Thank you guys for submitting those answers. We appreciate them.
Mickey Sullivan, he's a robot.
He's a robot, bitch. Just kidding, Mickey. I love you.
What is our question for next week going to be, Ryan?
Brian, what's our question for next
Bri
week?
guy.
Our question for next week, since we will be seeing Han Solo, we want to know what obscure Star Wars character you would like to see have their own origin story movie. Maybe
Jar Jar Binks. Isn't he like some sort of rat bitch or whatever?
he's a Gungan.
I'm saying like a rat, like he didn't need to like snitch on somebody.
Ooh, well, he technically did start the war. You know what? Let's just leave this to the listeners. If you want to leave us an answer, you can find us on social media at the Chumpcast. You can call or text us at 847-920-6107. And if you leave us a good enough voicemail, we will play it on next week's show.
I have a better question. I want to know everybody's Star Wars porn parodies that they don't want to see. Mine is Jabba the Slut. Nobody's trying to see that Famfowitz bang away the galaxy. So
I can already beat that.
What's the storyline for Jabba the Slut?
Jabba the Slut is
I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
No.
He just rolls over onto his belly.
And
he's a slut.
Wait, is Jabba the slut?
is this...
I'm pretty
Jabba
sure
is the
that's-
slut.
Of course.
I think mine would be Revenge of the Syphilis.
Okay. Coming up. What?
Maybe. Star Whores.
Star Wars is pretty on the nose.
More on the nose than Jabba the Slut.
Yeah. Star Whores or Jabba the Slut.
I think those are both great. I want to see both of those
I know
movies.
like 5 Star Wars characters,
Do you
so
see
this is not
the
going to
fucking
work.
hamster wheel in Mark's brain turning right
I know
now?
5 Star Wars characters.
Boba Fetish.
I'll see that one too.
Ugh.
Wonder what shit he's into. He's got a whole fucking gang of
Great, we're getting into the news for
tools.
the week.
Here's my rocket launcher, bitch. He's got a wrist rocket. Woo.
First is the best. Bill and Ted, Face the Music, has signed Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter for their triumphant return a mere 27 years later.
Wow.
If only George Carlin were still alive to reprise his role as Rufus. Have any of you seen either of the Bill and Ted movies?
Not in a while, though.
No.
You're doing yourself a disservice. Jordan Peele's follow-up to Get Out is called Us and will reportedly star Lupita Nyong'o, Elisabeth Moss, and Winston Duke.
So is this a direct sequel? Like,
That is a wonderful question. He has not released that information yet, but I'm pretty sure that we'll just go see whatever he does.
yeah,
Because
for sure.
Get Out was that good.
Yeah, no, I
Get Out.
agree.
Was
Do
fantastic.
you think he's going to spend more money to do this one?
He's going to get a bigger budget. I mean, Elisabeth Moss, Handmaid's Tale, she's like
Oh, I don't
big
like
right now.
her.
I don't either, but she's not a bad actress. Winston Duke is M'Baku from Black Panther.
Yeah, he's
Oh.
great.
So he's on the rise.
A fun fact about Elisabeth Moss: she was in a Disney Channel film called Escape to Winch Mountain.
Yes.
Does anybody remember that?
Yes, I do.
One of my favorite movies growing up.
So you do like her.
No, I mean I liked her then. I don't really like her now.
But now she's grown up and I hate her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Was she in Get Him to the Greek as the boy? She was dating Jonah Hill.
Was that her? That makes
No.
sense.
I will tell you her
I don't
biggest
think
role.
I think you're wrong.
She was Peggy in Mad Men
In
for
Mad
Don
Men,
Draper.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
That was her
she
biggest
was
role
that.
in TV for a long time.
I think her biggest role was in Escape to Winch Mountain on the Disney Channel.
I know what you mean. You don't like
Valid
her.
point.
She didn't stick to her roots. She didn't stick to the roots of being the Escape Mountain girl. She should have just been. What if she was still doing Disney movies? That'd be great. If she was like 38, whatever she is, still doing Disney movies.
Disney Channel movies. I'd be on board with that.
I think T and Tamara are still doing Disney movies. I'm pretty sure.
I think you're right.
Or they're on The View. Either
Sister.
All right, we're getting 70 more episodes of Rick and Morty. And I apologize for not being more upfront with this, but we were gone for a week. So I'm guessing this is going to premiere somewhere around 2047.
Such a little hater, dude. I see Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon are already getting to work. They showered together, which means they're back in business.
How many episodes?
70.
Watch them do the most epic shit, and they're like, all right, season 4 is going to have 70 episodes back to back to back weeks.
What if it was just every day for 70 days?
That would be amazing.
I wouldn't miss an episode.
What'd you think about the way they told people? Yeah, the shower scene?
Meh.
What about you,
How
Brett?
Seriously, though,
how did that
when do you
happen?
think season 4 will premiere?
They have a lot of writing to do. And the last time it took them, a year and a half to get the new season out? And Dan Harmon's not someone who's going to rush it. He wants to put out a really good product, and he has like weird anxiety about it too. I listen to his podcast every week, which is very good.
Tell that to the last season of Community.
First week in December.
For those of us who don't know how it was announced, can you guys explain?
Dan Harmon was showering.
Just his torso up.
Yeah. And then the other creator just came from underneath him and was like,
In
oh,
the
I guess we
shower
gotta,
as well.
we gotta get back into work, and just like started showering.
And then what? Said we have 70 episodes? What? How did this even go?
Basically, that's how it went.
That's how it went? Okay, all right.
That's Rick and Morty for you.
So the way they usually do this is that you'll do 13 episodes. You'll be picked up for a second season, technically, but they can still cancel you. So you get one season, and as long as things are still going well, they'll keep picking you up until you hit that end of your contract.
Got it.
At that point, then they'll be able to renegotiate for more money or
For
whatever.
70 episodes.
Because if they can make 70 more good episodes, then they'll make a shitload more money.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a bad episode of Rick and Morty, though, in my opinion.
It just seems like a lot of episodes to confirm ahead of time, right? I mean, I agree with it.
Yeah,
but
no, they have a
just,
big time following. Just like
No, I know. But
So did the first season of True Detective.
like let's compare it to The Simpsons. Like how many episodes do they confirm? Obviously, they've been around forever.
They don't. People just assume it's never going to end.
They do 23 a season.
That's
So we'll
fair.
see. John Krasinski has suggested that the Quiet Place sequel would take place concurrently with the original story, just in a different setting with different characters. So maybe we'll see that weird old guy and his story.
Didn't you
Or-
want that to happen?
I didn't want a direct continuation. Man, it's hard to think what I want. I kind of want it to be in like New York City.
in a city setting?
Yeah.
Big population.
I thought you wanted like the same kind of storyline or the same setting, I guess, but a different story.
I think what I really want is for them to just end here and have it be good and not have to worry about living up to expectations.
You for sure didn't want it to pick up where it left off, right?
No,
Okay.
I wasn't super happy with
Yeah.
the way it ended. I mean, it was a great movie.
Yeah, it was. I was okay with the ending.
yeah,
What a ringing endorsement.
yeah, the high pitch. Yeah.
Thanks for your opinion.
See, I didn't see it, but since they were so quiet in that one area, there probably wasn't much killing going on. But if they're in the city setting, like you're saying, they could do a little more murdering.
Maybe even a
Sounds-
prequel
That
where
sounds
you
intense.
just see the entire city get decimated.
Well, I think to
Cool.
your point, John Krasinski ended it the right way because he probably had a vision of what he wanted to do with these movies and obviously didn't want to follow this family further into their lives. So that was a good way to end it, in my opinion.
Right, but then they're already signed on for this, so it's happening.
I know, but it's going to be a different setting. So it's not going to be
Right.
with it following that
Right,
family
so it's
around.
not a
Yeah, they're not.
sequel.
Yeah, you killed
It's-
off.
Oh,
Spoiler alert.
right.
So-
Fucking, I haven't seen it. So sick.
Well, joke's on you because
Either of
All right,
Next.
the 5th season of Arrested Development is coming May 29th. I do not care about anything else coming out right
It's
now
super
except
good.
for this.
I could not be more excited about this.
Erica and I have been watching the Redux. Basically, Mitch Hurwitz came in and recut the 4th season that was really underwhelming and did a better job with it.
You know what's funny? I've seen a lot of feedback on the internet about how people were really disappointed with the remix season, and I really don't understand that. I thought it was much better than the original separated season where you kind of felt like none of the characters interacted with each other. None of the major characters were interacting with each other. Yeah, and I was surprised to see the feedback on the internet where they were like, this remix is trash. I'm like, wait, why?
I disagree with you, actually, because I really enjoyed the fourth season. It took a little bit of time to
get used
develop the plot the way they wanted it to, so that they have the running jokes continue on throughout the season. As in, like, the Job episodes were always fantastic because Job's just a great character. And maybe that's why I liked it so much, was because you got the characters. I don't know where I'm going with this, actually.
Wow.
You know what it felt like? It felt like
just cancel everything I just said.
We recognized that the characters in real life became actual A-list celebrities, and like no one could film with each other. Like that's what it felt like.
Was it just awkward seeing them 8 years? That's a good amount of time.
But okay, so they came back 8 years later, and they filmed each episode where it focused on one particular character. So it felt very separated.
Oh.
After coming back after 8 years, you're just like, I want to see this family back together like they used to be. And it's so separated is the way that I feel about it.
What the remix was.
Right. The remix
is chronological.
Right.
And that's what Mitch Hurwitz came in and did. And
yes.
I would argue that it's much stronger.
Yes,
than
I agree.
And that's originally aired on
yes,
Netflix.
I agree. And that's what I don't understand the feedback I'm seeing on the internet where they're saying that the remix
people will complain
doesn't
about
make
anything.
any sense.
All right, the third Sherlock Holmes film starring Robert Downey Jr. is currently slated for a December 25th, 2020 release date. Christmas 2020. I'm a big fan of these two movies. The first was better than the second, but is anybody mad about more RDJ?
I don't remember the second movie coming out.
Who is Watson?
What's his dick from? He's young Dumbledore.
Jude Law.
Jude Law.
I don't think I ever saw the second.
I don't
Sherlock
remember
Holmes.
the second movie.
I wanted it to be super good, but I don't think I was hooked on it for some reason.
I'm going to be honest. I don't remember any of these movies.
What a great movie.
I really enjoyed the fight scenes in it when he's in the fight pit.
The slow-mo.
They do the whole slow-mo scenes. Those were awesome.
I remember those. Those were
That's a
actually
long time
sick.
ago. It was like 12 years ago, right?
Yeah, he does the describe what he's going to do before he does it, and then they do it in slow motion, and he pokes him in the neck, and the guy shits his pants.
What's the time difference between the second film and the third film coming out?
10 years.
I don't have the answer to that.
8 to 10 years, probably, I'd guess.
It has been a while because, he's been busy with Avengers, Iron Man, sequels.
Because 1 and 2 came out pretty close to each other, I would say.
Yes.
I think it was like 2007, 2010.
I feel like it's exciting, but also I would have to go back and watch the movies to get excited about it.
I'm sure that we have plenty of time before 2020.
I'm sure we do.
I don't know. It's debatable. Next.
Rumors are currently that the next Star Wars film will be an Obi-Wan story, and Ewan McGregor
McGregor.
Can you please keep that?
is willing to reprise his role. So he was basically the only salvageable part from the prequels, other than Erica's opinion of Jar Jar Binks, even though he's a genocidal maniac. Do either of you give a shit about seeing an Obi-Wan origin movie?
Actually, Obi-Wan is a dope character. I was a big fan. I got the high ground. It's over.
He's a hell of an actor.
I love Edwin McGregor. He's awesome.
Edmund McGregor?
Yeah, what the hell's his name?
Ewan McGregor. So we're all
wow, we both fucking the fuck.
Edmund McGregor.
Yeah.
He's friends with Humperdinck Bubblesnatch.
Exactly.
Over in jolly old London.
He's got a good voice too, doesn't he?
Oh, he's fucking perfect accent.
Yeah.
Good beard too.
Dude, I think he has a song in like Moulin Rouge that's like one of my favorite songs of all time. My song, your song, that song's a banger.
So you didn't see the second Sherlock Holmes, but you saw Moulin Rouge.
I had an older sister, man.
Okay. Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, who actually were writers on Deadpool 2 and wrote Zombieland that premiered in 2009, are saying that they're shooting a Zombieland 2 for release in October of 2019.
Okay, all right.
So imagine Jesse Eisenberg, Emma Stone, Woody Harrelson, and that little girl whose name I don't know, coming back 10 years later to reprise this role.
What was the one with the theme park?
That's Zombieland.
Zombieland.
First one.
Yes.
Honestly, there's only two. There hasn't been a second.
There's only one.
I thought you said
I literally
there's
just
been
said
two.
Zombieland 2.
Okay. I thought
we are sitting in a room with each other, looking at each other.
I think I'm confusing it with Kick-Ass. There's been 2 Kick-Ass movies, right?
Yes, there have, which is not even close to Zombieland.
I don't know. It's kind of, it seems
you know
kind
what
of
I'm confusing it
What?
with? I'm confusing it with Warm Bodies. That was a really good zombie movie.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
I don't think anybody else liked that.
Whatever. I
It was
love
very
that.
I mean,
movie.
I
It was
enjoyed
so
it. I'm
great.
with you.
All I know is the funniest part in Zombieland, which I always actually cracked up with, was Bill Murray's cameo. And he like pretends to be fake dying, and they're like, "Oh shit!" They actually just like kill him. And he's like, "Oh, we just killed Bill Murray." Fuck.
Jesse Eisenberg fucking shotguns him in the chest.
Ugh, that's fucking
That's
hilarious.
not a spoiler because that was 10 years ago.
Was that Jesse Eisenberg's best role he's ever had?
Ooh.
Lex Luthor. Never saw that movie actually.
Get
I think his best role was
He wasn't in Get
Mark
Out.
Zuckerberg.
Social Network.
Because I'm pretty sure they're the same person and they're both robots.
Nice way to come full circle with that.
Thank you.
All right. The Happy Time Murders trailer. We saw this last night, Erica. It's Muppets on drugs.
Oh my.
I want opinions on this because outside of Melissa McCarthy being out of shape and hurting herself, this looks pretty funny.
She looks in shape, first of all, for this movie. Second of all, I think less Sesame, more Street. That shit's hilarious to me. I think they're going over the top with all the Muppets. I think it's actually a brilliant idea.
How much does this remind you of the Dave Chappelle skit where he's talking about STDs?
That's a funny ass skit. Dave Chappelle's hilarious.
My favorite sketch of all time.
Really? That's tough.
That's where I learned the phrase, I beat my dick like it owes me money.
That's gross.
It is for you because you don't have a dick to beat.
That shit is popping up.
That's gross.
Moving on. Disney CEO Bob Iger says,
Speaking of Disney.
I'm guessing we will try our hand at what I'll call a new franchise.
What's he doing with his
beyond
hand?
Avengers.
Yeah. Yes.
Wait, Disney's doing what with his hand?
Something with the
He's
Avengers.
beating his dick like he owes him money.
Oh, that's a great song. What song is that?
That's what
Cold
it's called.
45?
Cool. 45.
Two zigzags. Baby, that's all we need.
We suck.
A brief list of shit that has been canceled in the last week.
The Chumpcast.
If only. Sci-Fi's The Expanse, which for the first 2 seasons had a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's a
Damn.
lot.
Because 3 people watched it.
The X-Files, Last Man on Earth,
Boo.
Lucifer, The Inhumans, which nobody gives a shit about, Once Upon a Time,
Boo.
The Exorcist, Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Asperger's.
Yes. Burgers.
And at this point, it is looking as though Altered Carbon is not getting a second season.
Damn.
I feel like you're missing a couple shows.
Why? Why would an Altered Carbon be getting another season?
Because the last half of that show was boring as shit.
The business side of it says because Lost in Space is getting picked up for season 2.
Are they doing Iron Man season 2? Iron Fist, sorry, season 2?
Yes, it's already done shooting.
This is why I'm asking.
Which
why would they cancel
leads us
Altered
into
Carbon?
Best.
Best.
We the best!
Worst.
The worst! She's the worst person in the world. Huge, skank, terrible, but thank you.
Whoa! Oh my god. Super surprised guy here.
Shut up.
Which leads me into my Best Man Alive segment, Best Network Alive. NBC for bringing back Brooklyn Nine-Nine after being canceled 48 hours prior.
That's fine.
Also a worst network alive to Fox for canceling everything good that they had left. What the fuck are they doing?
I'm a fan
That's
of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's
great.
actually a good show.
I could never get into that
Never
show.
watched it.
I could
Okay,
just-
so four of the shows that I just listed have been my recommendations in the past. Best Man Alive, Altered Carbon, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Ash vs. Evil Dead. Canceled.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Sounds like you got some bad recommendations, first of all. Second of all, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is actually funny. Third of all, shout out to NBC, because when I was in Vegas, I went and saw Chainsmokers and I did a social experiment to get to the front row. And I told them I worked for NBC and they have cameras there, and there, and pointed randomly. And everyone's like, oh, come on by. And just like let me through. And I got first row, like no problem.
You're just like, hey, I was doing just fine before
I met you. A lot of singing this song. A lot of
Are
singing
we doing
this
a
episode.
musical
I
episode?
think this is a musical episode.
Hey, you know I work for NBC. I got some cameras up there, you see. I'm done.
Do any of you have a Best Man Alive?
I have a worst woman alive who
Please.
I'm sure everyone's already heard about this, but this woman was in such a tiff. She was at a convenience store and apparently this guy wasn't serving her. I don't know what the details were exactly,
Wasn't that a restaurant?
Is this the person that pooped?
She decided
Shit
to
and then
literally
threw the
Yes, I
shit
saw
at
that.
the guy?
Yes,
I just saw this on Instagram. It was so disturbing.
Unreal.
exactly. So there's no reason in a restaurant to be so shitty, pun intended,
That was
It was
good.
a
to a
Tim
That
person.
Hortons.
was good.
Where was it?
Tim
That's
Hortons.
Tim
Tim Hortons.
Hortons.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what
In
kind
Canada, the nicest country in the world.
That's a fair
Something
point.
must have really pushed this woman over the edge.
Yeah, enough to like be so angry you get a bowel movement and then you take that shit and throw it at somebody.
Okay,
That's
she
like
not-
a nightmare situation.
Okay, she not only threw her shit at somebody, she then wiped her buttocks and then threw the napkins at
I think at that point you consider it toilet paper.
Like,
right?
Yeah, that
That's-
escalated.
Assault.
Gross.
That's ass-alt.
like she not only
Salt.
she
You like
not
that pun?
only
I did.
pooped and threw it at him. She pooped and then wiped her butt and threw it at him.
Can you imagine being that guy like, yo, I just pissed this lady off so much that she shit in my store and threw it at me. Like,
And
what?
I make $7.50 an hour.
Like I
I'm
do
going
to
not
murder
make
someone.
enough money
And
to
all
deal with
Canadian
this.
Sorry,
dollar
ma'am.
coins.
Yeah, I make 3 toonies an hour.
Sorry, we don't know.
Fuck this.
Sorry, we don't know how to make eggs Benedict, ma'am. Just like,
It's a
don't
fucking
take
Tim
a
Hortons.
shit.
Order a donut and get oot.
Oot.
Mark, do you have a
sorry.
best or worst man alive?
I do. Best woman alive, Meghan Merkel, getting married to Prince Harry this weekend. Fucking love Meghan Merkel.
Why?
On Suits. You've never watched Suits, I'm assuming, because it's the greatest.
Meghan Merkel is a stone cold fox, and now she's like a queen now or whatever,
I think
right?
it's Meghan
no,
Markle.
she's not a queen. I don't
mean,
know if
she
you've
will
read
be.
the line of Succession, but the guy she's marrying is like number 6.
She's
You know what I
some
don't
murdering
care
to
about?
do.
What? The royal
This.
family. I know.
Yeah.
No, I'm just shouting out Meghan Merkel because I love Suits.
Markle.
Merkel?
Markle.
It's the Chicago accent
Polo.
I got. I'm sorry.
Mark, I thought you were from Boston.
Markle.
It's a
Polo.
Boston Chicago accent. It's like goes here and there.
Markle.
Polo.
But yeah, shout out to Meghan Merkel. Suits, #1 show ever of all time.
Yo, end
All
yourself
time?
and
Are you really
existence.
calling this out as all time?
Dude, fucking Harvey Specter. Let's go.
I have a best man alive. My mom's boyfriend is a fire chief in the suburbs of Chicago, and he just recently saved a dog out of a fire drain.
Well, that's awesome. What kind of dog?
Literally
Fire
trumps
drain is
every
not a
best
thing.
man alive
Um,
that we've ever had, including The Rock.
What kind of?
How
Was
many
it a
dogs
puppy
has
or
The
was
Rock
it a
saved?
dog?
I think it was just a dog.
smaller
but-
dog?
Yeah, it was a smaller dog. But this dog was stuck in a drain, and he went to go save it, which is
I'm sorry.
pretty amazing.
Does the size of the dog matter?
I
Would
think
you
it does.
Say the smaller dog?
I'm just trying to think how that dog got in the drain.
Right?
If it's a
Well.
puppy, too,
Yeah.
it would easily sleek in there.
Right.
What if he saved that dog from Pennywise?
Maybe.
Bill Skarsgård was in that fucking sewer.
And he's got acid mouth, too, apparently.
According to the official record, the ant clown was in the drain, so we lucked out.
That's good official record. Good
Yep.
to keep those
Good
records.
job, John.
Right?
Proud of you.
Super nerd
Proud
of
of
me.
you.
But have you seen the Funko Pop they came out with for it, where it's Pennywise and Georgie?
Oh,
and
yeah,
he's
it's
in the
freaky
drain?
as fuck.
Pretty
George.
epic.
It's freaky
Have you
as
seen that Funko?
fuck.
Pop,
Yeah, it's
pop,
freaky.
pop, pop.
Yeah, it's weird.
Pop, pop, pop.
All right.
Hey, Georgie.
For the main event, Deadpool 2. Currently at 85% on Rotten Tomatoes from both fans and critics, which
Ooh.
is something you rarely see. But a budget of $110 million, on pace for a $300 million plus opening weekend. Directed by David Leitch, who did John Wick, Atomic Blonde, and is also signed on for the Hobbs and Shaw Fast and Furious spinoff. Mark, I just saw
Tyrese
your
is
pants
super
feel a little
pissed.
bit tighter.
Tyrese is pissed off about that.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Mark, standard questions. What was the level of jackness in this movie?
Ooh, I guess you have to give it to Cable. Cable was pretty ripped. Josh Brolin was ripped in this movie. I don't know if that was CGI'd because you're assuming half of him is pretty much CGI'd. But
Part of it was.
if that was really his real other half of his body, he was pretty jacked.
Pretty jacked out, Tron.
What about Ryan Reynolds in his wet t-shirt?
Oh, yeah.
He was looking fucking
Yeah.
jacked and pissed. So that's my two
Jacked
cents.
and pissed. Wow, really falling off on this jack level. What about Colossus?
I feel like you
Rasputin.
can't count Colossus.
Yeah.
That's
It's just a metal blob of.
Jackness.
You're a metal
Jackness.
blob.
Well, I wouldn't call him a
Whatever.
blob by any means.
Okay. I mean, he's just like metal jackness. It's just who he always is.
In the question, you defined him as jackness.
That's how he always looks.
He's a more mass metal Ivan Drago, basically.
His body isn't able to change throughout the movies like the
He
men
gets
of the
his
movies,
fucking head
right?
dented in. So
Right.
his body can change.
On to the more important question. Mark.
Why is it directed at me?
Did this satiate your thirst for unmitigated, filthy, just disgusting bloodlust?
Mentally
You
unstable psychopath, blood psycho.
You disgusting human being.
There was a point in this movie where I had to look away and just thought,
What?
I thought to myself, this is perfect. And, you know,
It was during one of the scenes that wasn't bloody, obviously. It was just like a regular scene.
I wasn't necessarily looking away. I was looking to the guy sitting next to me, and I said to him, this is perfect. And he smiled and looked kind of awkwardly at me, but it was great. It was a great moment.
This is his thought. This kid's going to murder me.
So was that a yes? It was good?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It was super gory and over the top with death.
Rated R.
Isn't that what a superhero movie should be? If you have a superhero movie, people are going to die.
If it's Deadpool, yes.
No, any superhero movie. Okay.
I know what you're saying.
I feel like, though, superheroes are expected to
Do good.
stun bad guys and not necessarily kill them.
Okay.
So you don't necessarily expect the level of murder in these types of movies.
Which is 'cause-
I mean, not to say that I don't enjoy it, but I'm just saying you don't expect it.
All about the bloodlust. Okay. No, you make a good point. But you're talking about your nerfed Disney World, where you're talking about Escape to Witch Mountain. But in the real world, if you had a Superman that comes down and snaps Zod's neck, there's going to be a lot of death.
Okay, but in traditional superhero movies, they mostly just stun bad guys and not necessarily murder them, right?
Yes.
Because they're the good
Okay.
guys. That's what makes that's the
So-
difference between the heroes and the villains. Is the good guys try and save
Right.
people. Villains are like, fucking, I'm going to murder
But
everybody.
Deadpool has
Right.
no morals.
But
so-
Deadpool is not necessarily a hero. He's an anti-hero.
And he goes against Colossus in this movie, who says,
Right.
rule number 2, don't kill anybody.
Right. I feel like we're agreeing.
We are. But also, we're trying to translate this into a more realistic world where there's a lot of murder,
Yeah, absolutely.
such as in Deadpool 2.
Well, I just think people need to understand the difference between the traditional hero and the anti-hero.
You bring up a very good point
Thank you.
with people bringing their kids
Oh,
to this
that was
fucking movie.
oh, that was gross.
How many kids were in the theaters that you two showed up to?
I didn't pay attention. I didn't see any.
There were a significant amount of children in the theater that we went to, like enough to the point where when significant deaths were happening, you could hear kids being like, "Oh no, they didn't kill her, did they?" And you'd turn around, like you could hear that a child was saying that, and you'd be like,
Yeah,
"Let me
and-
comfort you," you know what I mean? But obviously,
At the same time, it's
At the
still
same time,
it's a
you're like-
Marvel movie.
you're
and
like,
you think it's
"Why
not.
are you bringing this
Doesn't
child
matter.
to this movie?"
It's a Fox movie and it's rated R.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was messed up. There were a lot of kids in our theater.
If you bring your kid to this movie, you are an asshole.
There were at least 5, which I think is way too many for this type of movie.
Pointed to you, like a 6-year-old girl that was walking in on crutches, and I'm like,
Well,
what
her
is
mom
happening?
was
Where
also-
are we?
Okay,
I bet
no-
you Mark took her seat.
Hey, don't joke about
Whoa.
that because
Because you did.
I was in one. I had to. I came late to the show, and that's the only seat that was open.
And he wanted to refund his money to get his movie pass to work. So he fucking
Here.
took this fucking...
The problem with this is, yes, I agree with you. There's going to be gore, death, etc. But Deadpool, it's creativity when it comes down to the death. And
Oh,
that's,
for sure.
That's
For
the
sure.
problem.
That
with
doesn't
it.
make it okay for a 5-year-old.
Oh, that's why I'm agreeing why this is not the movie to bring your children, because
No.
what
But
they
it
do
was-
with the death
There
is
were
over the top.
way
It's
too many
ridiculous.
kids in our theater to
What
deal with
age?
this.
What age do you feel this is appropriate for?
I mean, what? It's
Like, you're the
rated
coolest
R?
kid. If you go
I
in
would say
as a
at least
6th grader,
14.
Yeah.
if you're a 6th grader, you're the coolest kid in 6th grade.
Oh, for
seeing
sure.
Deadpool.
I mean,
6th grade, I can handle this in 6th grade. 6th, 7th grade.
you know, I think it's about time they changed the ratings. PG-13 allows what? Kids over 13?
One F word.
One F word?
One F word.
I
as
think
long
there
as
needs
it's
to
not
be.
talking about
I think
the
there needs to be
actual-
something in between R and PG-13 because, like, there shouldn't be kids allowed with their parents under 13. Like, if you're a parent and your child is under 13 and you're taking them to this movie, check yourself Because you're being a horrible parent.
Because you're about to wreck yourself.
No, you're just being a horrible parent. Like, this movie, it had so much death and so much
How
drama.
many times did Josh Brolin say cunt?
No, it's not even about that. I think it's about the...
Is.
Okay, I think
the
it's
vulgar
about...
references were some of the worst parts.
Because, like, if you don't... Okay,
when he's
but
talking about the kid's soft mouth, I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, but, like, okay, think
baby
about...
dicks and shit.
Think about, like, 13-year-old self. You're not going to pick that up. You're going to pick up... Well, the more significant deaths in the movie, I could literally hear the kids out loud saying, like, no, they didn't kill that person. Are you serious? And, like, those are the things that affect kids under 13.
And at the same time, though, every kid has an iPad and has access to the internet and is in their room with availability.
I'm sure they're saying that in their room without any
seen
supervision.
Bambi.
But I'm also in this room hearing this child say this, and I'm just like, holy fuck, they're going to be traumatized.
What Erica's
As
trying
you say,
to
holy fuck, you're gonna be fucking traumatized, kid. Oh, fucking kidding me.
I think we all agree.
Trying to say is keep your fucking kids at home.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Not just at this movie, but in general.
Yeah. I don't want to deal with your kids' emotional shit in the movie theater. I'm not gonna lie.
I agree.
I'm not gonna lie.
Let's talk about the good parts of this movie. Obviously, the humor on point.
Yes.
We had a chance to talk off air about why I think it was a joke a minute. Mark, you have not heard this, so I'm interested to hear what you have to say. But how many of the jokes, the best jokes that were delivered, were when Ryan Reynolds was in a full face mask? Most of them, right?
Yes.
So what they did is that they wrote a script, shot it, and then went back and ADR'd better jokes after they had shot everything. So basically, they had their script punched up, which is fucking brilliant, and because you haven't seen that anywhere else.
Yeah, and they can alter the CGI with his eyebrows moving a certain way and his mouth moving a certain way, too. So
exactly,
they can do all that.
One example of that is when they're on the convoy that's carrying Russell. In the trailer, you see him with his swords, and Cable is shooting at him, and he's like swinging his swords trying to deflect bullets. He says something totally different in the trailer than he does in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's prime example. There are also a couple samples in this where the ADR is kind of off, the voice is louder or quieter. It's kind of brilliant, but also a little bit noticeable if you know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
If you edit a podcast, then yeah, you'll know.
Rick, what did you like about this?
People didn't like the story that I've heard. I'm looking directly at Erica, but super enjoyed just the premise of it all. I thought it was like it's a dark comedy, and from there Ryan Reynolds breaks that fourth wall and just it rolls the entire movie. It goes. I think if you watch the first one to the right to the second one, it would just go right through and be a perfect 4-hour movie. Segue. Perfect. Thank you. But I also loved in general Domino, like the crew in general that he assembled, the X-Force that he brought in.
You're in love with Domino.
I love Domino. She's the hottest person I've ever seen with a face tat.
I know I'm going back. The Chump Academy Awards. My up-and-coming star was Zazie Beetz.
Stone Cold Fox. That character in the Deadpool universe was just so perfect because it plays so well. Just like, oh, being lucky isn't a superpower. And then just she pones. It's just like hilarious.
The way that it's directed is a huge credit to David Leitch. The way that they direct her scenes to show how lucky she is and how it progresses from like, okay, she lucked out in this to this to this to this. It's brilliant.
To the one, agreed. Her whole superpower and her whole premise is awesome and perfect and fits in the Deadpool universe so well that I just 100%. Fell in love.
Mark, what did you like about it?
I really liked the cast. I liked all the interactions between the characters. I thought everyone brought a different style of joking and jokes to the table, especially when Deadpool was interacting with them in general. The taxi driver, all the members of the X-Force.
Cable even.
I think he was the least funny, but yeah.
But the way that he interacted with Cable, because he was such a stone cold, I'm just going to be a robot, basically.
Dickhead, yeah.
Exactly. The juxtaposition between them, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sure.
I think Dopinder was hilarious. Quietly,
Panther, baby.
Quietly, but loudly my favorite character, I think,
in
the movie.
Psycho.
Every part he had, I was dying laughing. Every line he had was great. And there were just some jokes that were spot on and too funny, and we have to mention them when we get into spoilers. It was a great movie. I will get into what I didn't like, though, later on.
We're hitting on the humor, and I thought the humor was solid, but it wasn't as good as the first movie's humor. But I thought the action just is not getting enough play here. The action was actually super brilliant, like we talked about with Domino, and the way he was like the first montage opening up the movie. There's like 7 different scenes of him murdering 80 people. It was just like very well shot and awesome.
So that's a credit to David Leitch,
Again.
director of John Wick. That's 100% in his favor, and it's brilliant. Erica, please tell me, what did you like about this movie?
I loved the way that this movie broke the fourth wall at every chance it could. I think that was the most brilliant part of this movie. I think I am being a little hard on this movie coming off of Infinity War, but I thought this movie was brilliant with the comedy. I thought it was really funny, and breaking the fourth wall is one of the most hilarious things in a movie you can do, in my opinion. And they did it every chance they could, which I think is really funny. However, I felt like they leaned on that a little too much, and the storyline suffered a little bit because of that.
I agree with you.
Thank you.
Legit question.
Yeah.
Do you only like the fourth wall breaking because they made a Sorting Hat Harry Potter reference?
I mean, that definitely helped. They also made an Adventure Time reference, which I think is amazing. Right. Yeah. So they make a lot of jokes that I think are fantastic. I feel like they use that as a little bit of a crutch, though, and I enjoy it. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just coming off Infinity Wars and the 10 years of build up to this story. I found myself comparing the two a little.
They use every reference in the book, too. They use DC, they use Marvel, they use worlds that don't have anything to do with superheroes.
Absolutely.
So. But you made this point to me when we were walking on the movie last night, and my argument was, that's like comparing Schindler's List and Wayne's World 2. Like, they're
different. You're incredibly wrong on that, but...
They're different genres.
No, I agree.
I get your point.
Yeah.
But they're not supposed to be comparable.
And I don't think they are. I mean, I think it may suffer from the timing of it coming out.
I don't understand how you don't think they could be comparable. They're both superhero movies.
Yeah, but Deadpool isn't 10 years worth of films leading up to one film.
One takes itself seriously. The other one is Deadpool.
Right.
I mean, still...
I mean, you can't compare them. It's just when they come out so close to each other, it's just... When the story is built up for 10 years to this Infinity Wars film, you just, when you see a film like this, I mean, I appreciate the humor in it and I appreciate what it's doing. It's just when they're so close to each other, it's hard for me to separate the two.
I have a hot take on this, and I actually enjoyed Deadpool 2 more than I did Infinity Wars.
That's fine, but you're wrong, but it's fine.
You're wrong.
I'm
going to agree with Erica a little bit more. I guess I'm going to call it a little bit of arrogance because Deadpool 1 was such a hit with so many people. I just feel like they thought they could get away with whatever they wanted to because they knew the writing would be spot on with the humor. But at the same time, it took away from a lot of things that I don't think people really noticed with the story. And it took me out of the movie. They made a lot of references to things that weren't a part of the universe. Like they made Ryan Reynolds references during the movie. They told you what was going to happen before it happened. Things like that, they can be funny, but when you repeatedly do it throughout the movie and you're doing it on purpose, maybe so people aren't noticing some flaws and you're supposed to...
I feel like that was too much of a crutch for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
totally
sequel,
agree.
Though?
I can give you better examples when we go into spoilers.
I mean, it was a really funny movie. They had incredible one-liners. It was such an entertaining, funny movie. I mean, the fight scenes were great. I'm not going to lie, it was an incredibly entertaining movie. It's just coming off Infinity Wars, it's hard not to it's just hard not to compare the two.
The score and the soundtrack was great. Awesome.
It was genius.
It was incredible.
It was genius.
They had so many brilliant songs in there. Also, they got Cher. Was that the new song Ashes? Gives me chills just because it's actually it's just a
fantastic,
catchy, great song. They threw in AC/DC. They had DMX. They had so many great tracks.
You're right.
I also loved how they expanded and showed the audience a side of comic books and characters that are pretty much most people probably seeing them and don't follow the comics. It wasn't believable, these characters, but they are really characters in the Marvel universe.
You mean the X-Force?
The X-Force. Yep. And there were some other characters that weren't part of the X-Force. Just staying true to the comics, and they did make a lot of comic book references of the creators who made these characters, which are great.
I will get into them.
But the fact that they did stick to their guns and it being a comic book movie and keeping those references were great.
Agreed.
The other thing I will say that I loved about this is that many of the themes of this story are very loosely based on my favorite comic run of all time. You can see issue number 1 right there, Rick Remender's Uncanny X-Force. I make any excuse possible to talk about this, and there are so many references to this that I will get to later on. I can't wait.
I like the Liefeld? How do you say it?
Liefeld. Rob Liefeld.
Rob Liefeld references were great.
We kind of got into this a little bit. Let's talk about what you didn't like.
At the top of my head, I'm trying to think. I passed on me on this one. Let me go second. Let me go second or third.
All right. Mark, anything?
I pretty much mentioned it. I think they felt they can get away with a little bit more just because they knew this was such an over-the-top, hilarious movie. And I think they just thought the audience would just believe everything that they were shown.
Yeah, some of the recurring jokes just didn't really land for me. The trainee reference at all times felt like a crutch of a joke for characters that weren't really involved in that process of him being a trainee. I thought that they could do without the joke. I mean, that's just me being extremely nitpicky about that. But
let's go into spoilers, because I can get into a lot more of what I didn't like describing the movie.
So we got to rate it first.
Okay.
Brick, go ahead.
I love this movie. I liked it. It's hard to say that I liked it better than Infinity Wars, but I'm going to stick with it. So I think in my rating, I'm going to give it a 10 because you need to see it.
Okay. Mark?
I'm going to give it an 8.
I'm going to give it an 8.5.
I'm going to give it an 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm surprised by that.
Stingy ass motherfucker.
I thought you would give it a higher score. I'm not going to lie.
I'm trying to be more conservative with my scoring, because not that anybody ever would, but if you ever go back and look at my scores, you're like, well, why'd you give this a fucking 7.5 and you gave this an 8 and you said that's better than blah, blah, blah.
Would you give
I'm trying to be consistent.
Would you give Infinity War a 9? 9.5?
I don't remember.
9.5.
See, that's part of the problem. Is I don't fucking remember what I
We
give
need to start
any of
telling
these
this up.
movies.
You need to put a board right here. We could start.
We need
writing
a board.
The movies. That's actually
There's a board
great thing.
right
I have
there.
a whiteboard.
That's a great thing to start doing, is so we remember the movies we do each week and what ratings we give them.
We're
I
going
will
to do the
start that.
Instagram.
I
We're
can
doing
do that for
Instagram where I'm going to take the movie poster and post on all of our scores.
I have a whiteboard in the Chump Cave. We're going to start keeping tally.
The
I could
Chump
just make a
Cave.
spreadsheet.
No,
Whiteboard.
That's fine.
whiteboard.
Okay.
Got to be up here for everybody to see.
Okay.
All right.
After a while, it's going to get a little. We're going to need an Excel spreadsheet. So get on that.
You got it.
Spoilers. Spoilers from here on out. I will mark this in the show notes. I'm going to spoil the fuck out of this movie. So if you haven't seen it and you want to, boy, here's your chance to tune out. Check the show notes and make sure you stick around afterwards for our recommendations for the week.
Come back.
Where do I get the Wolverine music box from the intro?
That's fucking amazing.
I would
was
pay
amazing.
up to $75 for that.
Oh, for sure. One of the funniest starts to a movie.
This
of all time.
motherfucker missed the intro.
Did you?
I must have.
Oh my God.
Oh.
This is your problem because you skip the fucking previews and you miss one of the funniest scenes in the entire movie.
Lay it
The
on me.
scene where Logan dies at the end of Logan. Deadpool has a music box that he cranks
Oh
up,
my God.
and it's Logan literally impaled on a plug, and it starts playing a song, and he spins
so-
around. It's hilarious.
I'm super salty. I didn't see it.
I
I'm also
can't believe
It
happy
is so many
when I'm gonna go back.
emotions. It's so many emotions. I was so sad and it was so funny at the same time.
I think
It
another
was so confusing.
a good thing that Deadpool did right at the beginning was just like they hit you hard with
Yeah.
the deaths and just like getting the feels going.
All
early on.
the feels. They hit you hard with all the feels.
They hit you with the feels, and they hit you with the Celine Dion song, and then you're just like,
And you
"All
just
right,
can't
Deadpool, what the
even?
fuck? I thought I was here to
You
laugh,
just
man."
can't. I couldn't
Did you guys
even.
get that part with the whole intro being exactly how Skyfall
James
and all
Bond.
the James Bond movies
Absolutely.
are? So funny. So great.
And they called David Leitch one of the guys that killed John Wick's dog.
Yes, all.
Brilliant.
Oh my god, all of the movie titles and all
All
of the Oh, I loved it.
This is exactly what I said we weren't going to do.
Damn.
We're going to reference all the fucking jokes in the movie. We're not going to do that.
I have a question. Let's talk about the most epic cameo probably in all movies. Brad fucking Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
Was
Okay,
that-
so let me ask you this. What was your favorite X-Force death?
Brad Pitt. Just seeing him for that split second and just, was that fucking Brad
Wait, what
Pitt?
part?
That was
It was
fucking
elec-
Brad Pitt.
Okay.
Wait, what
It was
part?
electrifying.
What
Remind me.
Mark is referring to Vanishing Man.
Vanisher.
The Vanisher.
Sure.
Damn, I just treated Ryan at his own game.
Give me his name.
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt
Yeah.
as the Vanisher.
The Vanisher is a guy that they screen when he's interviewing people for the X-Force. He jumps out of the plane, lands on an electrical line,
Right.
and at his funeral, they show him as being Brad Pitt.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
You see him
When he's getting electrocuted, you see Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Did you not
So-
notice that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
The funniest part of this is that Brad Pitt was originally supposed to play Cable in this movie,
That's funny.
Really?
and his schedule just wouldn't allow it.
Oh, man, because that's one thing. I don't know how fond I was of the character Cable, but Josh Brolin playing Cable in this movie, I thought he looked amazing. But now that I think about Brad Pitt playing the role, I don't know now. I don't know who I'd
he's
rather
big
see.
I don't think Brad Pitt would have been great.
Well, they did make a reference about the size of Josh Brolin.
Yeah,
compared
but
to
it
the
was more of
comics.
a height thing.
Yeah.
Cable's supposed to be like 6'6".
Yeah. It's huge.
Which, whatever.
And
but
tiny feet.
invisible feet.
Yeah.
Doesn't ever draw him.
Yeah. The way he does
I heard the reference in the movie, but I didn't really understand
There's
it.
a story behind that. We'll
Okay.
get to that later. I don't think that they made enough jokes about DC and how much they suck.
They made some pretty good ones. The Martha one, I'm
Martha.
Batman, the Green Lantern
They
references.
made a lot.
They were hitting
Not
fucking
enough.
DC pretty hard.
Could have shit on them way harder.
Man, there were some more. I'm trying to think.
What were you looking for?
I don't know, like a big gray villain reference. Literally anything.
That's fine.
All right, we feel you, Ryan.
Another caped guy with his mom named Martha. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
That's great.
What was your favorite gag or joke?
Mine was the wind advisory joke. Not the first time when they're like, yeah, let's disregard this wind advisory, and then everybody dies. The fact that it was afterwards, he's like, yeah, well, we already took X-Force applications, and there's like a wind advisory, and winks at the only survivor of the wind advisory. I thought that was fucking hilarious. I was cracking up crying. No one else was laughing, but I thought it was very funny.
Mark, what was your favorite gag? Sorry, I'm busy on Instagram right now.
Full-time job.
It would have to be Dopinder referencing Kirsten Dunst in what's the vampire movie he was talking about?
Oh my God,
I'm not going to get
really
into
into it.
He was extremely into it.
Kristen Dunst.
And I think the humor with him throughout the whole movie was spot on, especially when he ended the rapist, weird molester guy's life by running over him with the cab and just getting out, jumping up in the air, like, yeah.
I don't know. Deadpool's death scene was pretty hilarious too. Just like, oh God, they're just like not letting me go. It's just
I
like
thought that dragged on a little
It dragged down a little bit. It
I
did.
loved it. I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Erica's
Erica,
like,
what
no.
was the funniest part of this movie for you?
I mean, I really enjoy a Harry Potter reference
Wow.
every time. It just gets me every time.
What
you
about
know?
the Adventure Time? Watch.
I really like that one too. It was fun. It was a funny movie.
Nobody talked about the funniest part in the movie, though. You're
Some
about to
deep
say it.
insight. My favorite part of the movie
I know
was
what
Baby
you're.
Legs.
I know what you're gonna say.
Baby Legs was far and away the funniest part of this movie.
The whole
I
scene.
didn't want to steal your thunder with this.
I have a list of funny things. Just watching him stand up and waddle over to Cable to shake his hand.
And his
I was
dick hanging? God.
Almost in tears.
That was
is-
my wind advisory joke was in there.
That was the least funny part of that entire scene.
No, it was hilarious.
Not only that, let's go back to the Deadpool and Blind Al house. When he picks up the floorboard,
Wade's
which is a
cocaine.
direct reference to Deadpool 1. He
Mhm.
says, I've got a boatload of coke and the cure for blindness hidden in this house. That is exactly what they show when he picks up the floorboard. That is gold.
Great
And
callback.
he also takes the entire thing of cocaine, puts it under
Puts
his
it
mask,
in his
Smashes his
mask.
face.
punches himself in the face, and all the cocaine just goes all over his face.
All the little kids in the movie at the time, Erica, were like, ooh, powdered sugar.
I'm sure.
Oh,
I'm
pixie
sure.
sticks. What about
Explain that, parents.
yeah.
Explain that.
Sun's getting real low when he was trying to take down Juggernaut?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
That's what Black Widow says to the Hulk when she's trying to get him to turn back into Bruce Banner.
Interesting.
What
Sun's
about the
getting
post-credit
real low.
scenes? post-credit scenes.
Those
My
were magic.
fucking God.
Cleaning up them
Magic.
timelines.
Brutal.
Very brutal. Let's come back to that because I have some shit you might have missed in that. And the other funny thing I thought there was the nicknames. When he calls Domino Black Widow.
Oh, that was great.
He calls Depender Brown Panther.
I will mention this scene where it was complete silent. There wasn't any really funny parts happening in the movie. The part when they opened the door and all the X-Men were just hiding out in there while the Red Bull was walking around. Everyone bursted out laughing, dying at that.
That was really funny.
You can't get all the other X-Men in here? Why is no one ever in this house? They closed the door.
I read a really funny story about how they made that happen between production because they were both shooting in Quebec at the same time.
Oh, really? And they were like, "Come on, we got to."
Because they were shooting Dark Phoenix at the same time, and the only one that didn't get there was Sophie. What's her face from
Game of Thrones? Sophie Turner.
Sophie Turner. So they couldn't get her there, and Jennifer Lawrence. But the way they shot the aspect ratio, like through the door, the directors were in the same room, and they were like, "Here's what size we have, make it happen," and they just.
That was brilliant.
Like I
thought, was brilliant.
That has to be a scene from an older movie. Nope, same time, same place.
I wouldn't even care if it was. Like that was so funny.
That was well done.
It's just so brilliant.
I think that was one of my favorite parts.
It was great.
That's an all-time Easter egg. Also, they called Josh Brolin One-Eyed Willie.
And Thanos. They called him Thanos to his face too.
One-Eyed Willie is a reference to the Goonies, which is Josh Brolin's first movie, I think. I can't believe they didn't make a Jonah Hex reference.
I mean, then they would have just been hitting every fucking reference there is, which they kind of did. But
so that was the one that they missed out of the millions?
They probably had
you
to
gotta
give and
lay
take
off somewhere. I mean, like...
I disagree.
They don't.
Fucking pedal to the metal, let's go.
All right, what
was the best murder in this movie?
Technically, it wasn't a murder, but when Juggernaut rips fucking Deadpool in half in just fucking literally 1 second, that was the fight.
That is paying homage to the Incredible Hulk tearing Wolverine in half and him still healing and coming back. So there you go. And that's how you get baby legs.
Exactly.
I think Deadpool's initial suicide, where he blows up, was pretty incredible.
He put a lot of effort into that.
Yeah, he did.
For no payoff.
Yeah, it was insane.
Bill Skarsgård as Zeitgeist in the wood chipper. And then Peter goes over there to try to save him. And he spits his venom or his acidic spit on him and just burns his whole heart out. Oh my God.
Let me go back, and I want to go to the best death I thought was right after Ness gets murdered, and you get that pouring rain, Ryan Reynolds chasing down the guy who actually ended up killing Ness, and then he hugs the guy who killed her, and then runs just like
he spins him into a bus.
He spins him into a bus, and like I just felt the
or
impact of that death because he wanted to kill himself too because she was already dead.
That was so emotional.
That's like
that was like
play.
Next level emotional. Like
but he needed
kill himself. He needed this like comfort after Vanessa died, but he also needed to kill the person responsible for her death and also himself because he knew he was partly responsible. It was so poetic.
That's why I thought that scene was actually incredible.
Yeah,
and
you're right.
The fact that he couldn't kill himself is like torture in itself.
Right.
Where it's like,
he tried.
He wants to kill himself so bad because he just wants to be with the one person that he loves, and it's just like, can't do it.
You guys are looking too deeply into this.
Hell no.
That
was awesome.
Are we?
We're not looking deep enough. Did you notice the cameo with Matt Damon?
Yeah.
Did you? I didn't notice.
It was him and Alan Tudyk.
I didn't notice that.
I didn't know it was Matt Damon.
I need to go back and
Matt
rewatch
Damon
this.
was in this movie?
Yeah, he was the redneck when Cable first comes back through time.
Be honest.
I think I was...
Did you read?
Wait, what?
Did you read this or did you
It was him and Alan Tudyk.
Damn,
that was Matt Damon?
He was in a shitload of makeup. But yeah. Anyways, you guys are thinking way too deeply into the deaths of this because the best death was when Domino was fighting all the diddlers and one of them gets trapped on a bed and a bookshelf falls and decapitates
him.
Oh, yeah, that was
because you heard the entire theater go, ugh.
Yep.
That's how you know it's a good death.
That was awesome. I also was happy that they didn't just make them fight Ralph and Juggernaut. They're like, all right, bring in the goons. And then all the goons just like came in there. That's Russell. What did I say? Ralphie?
Ralph. I was like, who the fuck is Ralph?
No, I think you said Russell.
No, he said Ralph.
Whatever. I knew you were talking about.
Good looks. I was happy they brought in the goons for everybody to just like, all right, here's Cable and Deadpool just like super killing everybody, being like, well, we're best
Cable's
friends
got
now.
his gun that goes up to 11, and Deadpool's got a brick.
Maximum effort. I'm seeing that movie tomorrow again. I fucking loved it. God damn.
It was great.
Since we're all on our high horse about this movie, let's kind of mention what we didn't like. If you gave this an 8, you had to not like a couple things.
Yep.
Because I don't want to end this episode with us talking about what sucked about Deadpool. But my one issue, I will say right off the bat, is Juggernaut was so awesome and then just kind of died at the end. The CGI was shit. And I'll say that. And if you disagree,
yeah, it definitely was. No, you're right.
It was the Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone Quidditch match type CGI.
No. It was the Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets with the troll in the bathroom.
Wow.
That's what
and
it was.
Both your guys' existence.
No, you're right.
The CGI was terrible.
It was terrible. You're right.
Did you not catch how shitty the CGI was?
It was Ron on top of that troll in the fucking bathroom of...
His face looked really bad.
Yeah.
His skin was terrible. When Erica reverts to things being a crutch, what was the thing they mentioned? They said, here's a huge CGI fight. Are you doing that because you're doing a shoddy job with the CGI and you want us to just be like, oh, they did that on purpose? Or are you
He was
doing
fighting
that?
Colossus. Colossus is a pure CGI, and then it was a mega
I don't think
human.
you get my point. Did they say that because they knew the CGI was shit and they thought if they said that, the audience would be more accepting of it?
I agree with
They're
you.
breaking the fourth wall. They've been doing it the whole time.
No,
Might as well.
I agree with what you're saying.
That's why you're wrong. You're fine with a shitty job in production because they made a joke about it.
It felt like a little bit of a crutch to make a joke.
That it was I didn't think it was very shitty CGI.
Well, maybe you should watch
Go
it again.
rewatch it.
That doesn't make it shitty. It just makes it obvious. Look, they've got $110 million. Ryan Reynolds has said if they're going to make another one, they're going to cut the budget even more. It's going to be a smaller scale movie.
Okay.
He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want a shitload of CGI, and you don't need it. I agree it went a little over the top. That doesn't make it bad.
I thought the CGI was terrible.
So you didn't care at all when Juggernaut swings a bus at Colossus. Like you were just like, no, that's not for me.
I just didn't like how they ended that character. Juggernaut has been one of my favorite villains in the Marvel universe. And I'm not even a huge
He's an
Marvel
actual
fan.
villain? Oh, I didn't know that.
Huge X-Men villain.
Really?
Okay, well,
Literally.
since we're here, let's talk about all the antagonists that we had.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got Cable, who for half the movie is a bad guy. Got the diddler, the orphanage leader guy.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Black Tom Cassidy, who is a real character, by the way, and is actually Banshee's brother, a Scottish guy who has a shillelagh because he's Scottish and can control wood or some shit. Just weird powers. And then we've also got Juggernaut, obviously.
No, we also have one more. The kid, Richard.
I don't know that he's a villain.
I would feel like I need to argue that was the whole point of this movie, was stopping him from becoming a villain.
So
he was a villain and he turned into a good guy.
Not a villain.
Okay.
But if you labeled Cable as a villain halfway through, and so you
have to acknowledge that he's a villain.
Yeah. Fire Fist.
No one is fighting for Cable's soul.
Do people need to fight for the bad guy's soul?
Yeah, that was what Deadpool was doing. He was fighting for his soul, but also they did show him as a villain where he did kill Cable's entire family. So he's got to be some sort of a villain. If we're counting people as villains, he's got to
be a villain. I mean, that's the whole,
okay, fine.
That's what.
Sure.
He's a villain.
Duh.
What do we think of him as a character?
I don't know. I think he's a villain.
What do we think about the antagonists in this movie?
Oh.
I loved how Cable looked. I wasn't too fond of just getting his backstory. I understand his family was burned alive, terrible, but I wish there was a little more backstory on Cable and
why his powers came to be and why he was in the military.
Someone that doesn't know a ton about the comic books, I didn't know that he wasn't a villain. Like, I thought he was like one of the big villains.
Same.
In the universe.
And it's Cable, but his acting was, it's really dry in
apparently
the movie.
He's not a villain, though.
He's not.
He's not a villain.
Okay.
No.
I didn't know that.
They do zero to explain the techno-organic virus.
Yeah.
Why he has a metal arm and why it can control shit.
I don't really think it's a huge factor in this story.
You didn't wonder about why?
I mean, I wondered, but
it would come back to him.
It didn't play hugely into the core story of this movie.
I figured he was just from the future. He's got some dope future technology.
Exactly. Like it didn't play into the core story.
Let that play
and
through.
this is the point where I feel like this storyline was a little bit weak. Like they didn't like Cable. I don't know anything about him, or he came off as a bad guy. Is that the way that they wanted him to come off?
Yes.
Yeah, they did. I think the big surprise or the big like cameo they wanted was Juggernaut, because Juggernaut is a lot of people's favorite villain, like Mark's.
Okay, I guess I just didn't know that. I was very naive to that.
I really hope Juggernaut's killed off, by the way.
And
I hope that's
think
not how they killed him
I
off.
think these are the reasons why I think the storyline was weak from someone who doesn't know as much background as other people.
Like, I came from the same actually background as you. I didn't know Cable was not a villain either. I just thought from a story perspective, Deadpool trying to get back with Vanessa. I mean, that was more.
Deadpool's
that was
character,
a stronger death, and it was a stronger like I just want him to kind of be happy and reach his happiness.
He developed as a character for sure.
He couldn't get there, which
he developed. I will give you that. He developed for sure. But the supporting storyline, I felt was a little weak because maybe I just didn't have a understanding of all of the characters.
That's fair.
What do you guys think about them referencing things that don't have anything to do with the universe and kind of bring you back to reality? Like when Ryan Reynolds did a signature and signed Ryan Reynolds. It's like little things like that. I kind of want you to keep me in the story and make me believe this is a Deadpool movie and it's not just Ryan Reynolds acting. I know he's acting, but when they do things to kind of just take me out of the whole story like that and make me realize like, okay, you're bringing me back to reality. Like that's fucking Ryan Reynolds. Funny joke. It's little things like that. I'm like, you hit on so many references and jokes throughout the whole movie. Like you don't have to do things like that. Like
so they're breaking that fourth wall.
Classic
you,
DC guy getting a little too serious.
No, I don't think so.
But that's how I know that you've never read a Deadpool comic run. Because that's his shtick. As he breaks the fourth wall, he references pop culture. Like, that's what he does.
Okay.
I liked the fact that he was breaking the fourth wall a lot. And
he wears a fucking Taylor Swift t-shirt.
He kills himself from signing the Green Lantern script. This is going to make history.
And that was fine. That's a post-credit scene.
Yeah, but that's him breaking the fourth wall. It's exactly what you just talked about.
What'd you guys think of them setting up what was going to happen in the movie before it even happened? All the foreshadowing, even saying this is foreshadowing for that villain downstairs, blah, blah, blah. Like all that stuff going on.
You're taking this too seriously. You're looking for a plot, and that's not what this movie is.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think coming off of Infinity Wars, it was so heavy plot based because obviously it was like 10 years worth of plot leading up to this movie. I think it's hard not to take it seriously.
Ryan, should we be taking this movie seriously?
No.
One bit.
Of course not.
One bit.
No.
I think that's why it's the perfect follow-up to Infinity War.
That's why
I think you might be right.
This
I think
better
you might
than
be
Infinity
right.
Wars because you don't have to take it seriously.
Exactly.
Don't take it seriously. I love the jokes. It's my kind of humor. Also, I felt that the Nessa death was more important than the spoiler alert Gamora death. I gave him a couple of seconds.
No, I agree.
If you went to see this movie on opening weekend, you've seen Infinity War.
True.
All right. Is there anything else we want to say about this before I get into the shit that you might have missed?
You better bring Juggernaut back.
I thought you said you wanted him to be dead.
You did say you wanted him to be dead, and then
No, I didn't.
You did, and then you're like, I hope he doesn't end that way afterwards. But you did say you wanted him to be dead. We can go back to the audio.
No, I think that's how I think I meant dead as like you killed the character. Like he was so great, and you ended it on a very poor note. That's kind of how I meant it.
He got an electric cable up the butthole. After Fire Fist blasts Deadpool at the end, his suit turns completely gray again. This gives me a chance to bring up Rick Remender's Uncanny X-Force. Right there, gray suit Deadpool on the wall in a frame. The best comic book run ever.
What happens in that comic?
Do you really want me to go step by step on that? It's thematically most of the basis for this movie.
Yeah,
I know there was a lot of basis off of Domino from that run, right? Domino's
the run after this.
Okay.
You know what? It's probably best if we just don't get into it.
Yeah.
Cable mentions his daughter Hope Summers, implying that they're following the comic lineage, which in that case means that he is the son of Scott Summers, aka Cyclops, and Jean Grey's clone, Madeline Pryor.
Where does Summer Sanders come into play here?
Wasn't she the host of a Nickelodeon show?
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
I
moving
knew
on.
that.
The orphanage that Russell stays at is named Essex, which is a direct reference to Nathaniel Essex, aka Mr. Sinister. This is the second Mr. Sinister reference we've gotten, as we also saw the name in the end credits of Days of Future Past.
I would not have remembered that. Thanks, Ryan.
I've got a list of these, so just buckle in, hold onto your butts.
Bear with us.
Let's go deep. Technically,
Oh, we're not deep yet?
technically,
That's what she said.
a mutant inhibitor collar should not work on the Juggernaut. Mark, do you know why?
I'm going to go with he doesn't necessarily have mutant powers.
And
He's just a Jactotron.
He has, does it have to do with his helmet?
no. He has the powers from the Gem of Sidorak, which give him
God,
the powers.
I was close.
Who would win in a fight, Juggernaut or Bane?
Juggernaut.
Bane.
Not close.
Bane!
Anyways.
Tom Hardy's Bane would.
Shatterstar shows up for a grand total of 5 minutes in this movie, and he starts talking about Mojo World. Do you remember 3 episodes ago where you were like, now explain Mojo World? And I was like, I can't even fucking do this. It's basically a reality television planet where Mojo runs it, and he makes people kill each other for his entertainment.
I'm happy he died in that wind advisory storm.
What was Shatterstar's death?
Yeah, I was trying to think.
A helicopter.
Oh, that's
he got
right. He
shot
fell
up
into
in
the
a
helicopter.
helicopter.
Yeah, there you go.
Helicopter death.
Oh.
Classic.
That was probably the worst of the deaths.
Yeah, my man got
Because
it.
Terry Crews came first, so it was the most surprising.
And all of his blood was what, blue or green or some
Green.
shit?
Yeah, it was green.
Because he's an alien. I caught that one, Ryan. Uh-oh.
Shots fired at Rob Liefeld for not being able to draw feet. And also giving everybody way too many pouches. They referenced Cable's fucking fanny pack way too many times.
That is a
Classic.
fanny pack and you know it!
So in the early 90s, Rob Liefeld would draw these comic book covers that would stop abruptly at like shin level because he couldn't draw hands and he couldn't draw feet. So he would put big guns in front of characters' hands and just not draw feet. Also, the way that they talk about Domino's powers, like it comes on the tail end of, wow, Domino, your powers are so fucking stupid. It's almost like they were made up by somebody who can't draw feet.
Direct reference.
That's funny.
So Reese and Wernick, who wrote this movie, have been very candid about the stuff they wanted to do but could not make happen. Apparently, on the DVD release, we will see a full montage of Deadpool unsuccessfully trying to kill himself.
Awesome.
That's really funny.
Unfortunately, I've had this spoiled for me as far as the ways that he will do it, but I
Do
won't
it.
ruin that for everybody else.
Why not? We already this is a spoiler section.
But you want me to ruin this for you?
No.
You want me to...
No, I want to see it.
No,
Yeah.
I want to see it.
One of the interviews for the X-Force that could have been featured was Chris Evans, our current Captain America,
And the love
the
of
Human
Ryan's
Torch.
life.
as the Human Torch. They never actually shot it. They just talked about doing it. I think it would have been hilarious. Can you imagine Chris Evans showing up as like Johnny Storm?
That would have been amazing. That
They
would
would
have
have
been
to
the
kill
funniest
him, right?
part of the whole movie, I feel.
One of the scenes that they actually did film, though, was Deadpool going back in time in the mid-credits scene and killing baby Hitler. Apparently, the test screenings did not take very kindly to him killing a baby.
Okay, but it's not just a baby. It's baby Hitler.
They
So,
probably
like-
could have just done like regular Hitler. That'd have been fine.
That would have been fine.
Yeah, but they shot baby Hitler,
Did he
which
have
makes
the-
you question, like,
You know, it's
Russell's like 14.
I was gonna
And
say
he's like,
it's the
no, I
same
can
argument.
change his life.
It's the
But
same
this
argument.
baby, nah.
Yeah.
It's the
Bullet
same.
to
It's
the
the
head.
same argument.
Did he have the mustache? Did the baby have the mustache?
Haven't seen the scene. I don't know.
How could he
Murder.
not?
I mean, they could have done it in some way where we would understand what was happening. Like,
Teenage Hitler?
just
He's
show a
like
baby
painting
in it.
dogs, and they're just like, bam.
I like this little symbol that I have.
No,
Like
that
a
didn't
fucking
sound-
swastika.
No, I don't think that was right.
That was a little Indian,
That
I'll be
sounded a
honest.
little Indian.
Is
All right.
Vanessa coming back?
Yeah,
He's back.
hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Kind
Of course she is.
Yeah.
All
That's-
right, well, let's talk about what's next then. Because the next movie, Deadpool 3, is X-Force. So obviously, we're going to have to cast some new X-Force characters. Because all the rest of them are dead.
I think they're doing pretty good right now.
Peter's back.
But if he brings Vanessa back, yeah.
She's not a superhero.
I know, but he
She's
brought
super
back a
dope.
lot of the X-Force. We can maybe assume
He brought back Peter.
but we can maybe assume he brought back other characters without it being shown.
Never assume that characters are
I think
still-
they're doing pretty well, though. I don't think it's going to be hard.
I
They already
guess
have a
what I'm
good
getting
crew.
at is that they're going to introduce other characters from the X-Force.
Mm-hmm.
Which won't be a bad thing.
Not at all.
Give me some
Parade
speculation.
as many new characters in as you can at any time. That's how you sell merchandise.
Yeah, and to be honest, Skarsgård won't come back to this role, which is sad, but I don't think he would.
He's busy playing Pennywise. Cable kind of teases that Earth is quote-unquote shit-fucked. So maybe that's what the story will be about. I don't know.
When is he going to join up with the X-Men?
Cable?
No, just like Deadpool and the X-Force.
None of this is set in stone because God knows what Disney is going to do with all of these characters.
/ Comcast.
That's sad.
I don't want to get into it.
Smithers, Ultra Nerd, who would you like to see as the next villain in the next Deadpool movie?
Villain? Ooh,
That's a good question, Mark.
The Cult of Apocalypse, I think, is a good one, but I think they kind of ruined that with X-Men Apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
It could be Strife, which is a clone of Cable.
I do remember.
There's
didn't
too
know his
many
name.
clones in this. There's way too many fucking clones. Could be T-Ray, the original Deadpool villain. That'd be interesting to see because it's such a dumb villain. It would just be like, imagine if Andre the Giant was still alive and they painted him all white and dyed his hair red. That would be T-Ray.
Okay.
Just a dumb villain that's huge.
So it could be interesting what they do with the next one.
And the other thing we know about the X-Force movie is that T.J. Miller is out. Apparently because
he's crazy.
He's just an asshat now.
He's
which
off
kind
his
of
rocker.
sucks because he's funny, but stop being a dick.
He's a weird dude.
Do we have any final thoughts on Deadpool 2 before
Go
we
see
get
it.
into our recommendations?
It's
I loved
funny.
it.
It's a good movie.
Top 3 movie of the year so far?
Yeah.
That's why we need to write them on the board because
Yeah,
I
we
can't think
should.
of the movies.
I would
we've
say
seen.
so far.
All right, let's get into our recommendations for the week. Brick, you want to kick it off?
Swords of Ditto. It is
Swords
a
of Diddle?
Swords of Ditto. God
It's
damn
not
it.
a video game, right?
It is a PS4 exclusive.
Of course it
and
is.
it is a couch co-op similar to an adventure puzzle style game of like Zelda.
Does that mean you sit on your couch and eat potato chips and just play games?
No, it means that you and Ryan could both play at the same time and save the fucking world. And if
Stop
you want
it.
potato chips, you can
Okay.
have potato chips.
All right.
And it doesn't require you and someone from the internet to play. It's like
I
more of
prefer
a
that.
Cheetos
You know
guy.
what? I actually really enjoy that. That's good to know.
it's an easy, simple game that is like a lot of fun for arcades. So
Okay.
Swords of Ditto just came out, PS4 exclusive though, so that kind of blows, but it is what it is.
Mark.
Jersey Shore reunion. I got to give it to.
And yourself.
You didn't enjoy Jersey Shore in college.
No, I
that was
loved
not
it.
your
I
show
did
on
love
Thursday
it.
night.
Okay,
going out?
I will
that's
say
what
that
it
I
is.
loved
Let
it
me
in
guess.
college.
You're hesitant
I
as
did.
to watching a reunion and they're all married and
No.
shit.
No.
It's
No.
the greatest thing ever.
No, I'm hesitant because I don't have access to it because we
Oh.
don't have cable.
Then don't shake your head
Thought he was
like
in
you're in
Deadpool.
disgust at what I just recommended. It's
I
hilarious.
didn't do that. No one saw that.
Honestly, it's the funniest reality TV right now to watch.
Hard pass. Erica.
I would watch it if I
recommendation.
had
You need to
to.
watch it. Everyone needs to watch it.
Okay, so I would recommend this docu-series on Netflix called Evil Genius. It is a documentary, 4 hours, based around a 2003 bank robbery turned hostage situation. So what happens is this guy was turned into a hostage, made to rob a bank, and they put a bomb around his neck. And it was really intense. It was a true story. You can read about it. But I would really suggest watching this docuseries because
Sounds
the
intense.
twists and turns in this story are insane. The people involved are completely insane.
So it's a 4-hour movie or is it like a 4
No,
hour
it's-
part series?
4 episodes, 1 hour apiece.
Yeah, it's a docuseries.
That's perfect, by the way, for a
Yeah.
docuseries.
Right.
Sometimes when they're 12 episodes, hour long, you're like, oh, God.
It's
okay.
too long, right? No, this is decently short, but it's completely fascinating. The people in this story are outrageous.
They're fucking asshole hoarders is what they are. And they're from
Yeah.
Erie, Pennsylvania. They're just terrible shitbags that
Erie?
think they're smarter than they really are.
Oh yeah, it's the amount of narcissism in the people in this docuseries is bonkers, but it's definitely worth a watch. It's insane.
Nice. I thought it was gonna be longer than that. I saw it on Netflix, and so I steered away from it because what was the last one? Making a Murderer was 12 episodes.
Right.
Way shorter.
Yeah, no, this
Perfect.
is only 4 episodes.
That sounds intense too. The bomb around the neck. Woo.
It's really intense.
It's like a treasure hunt, though. They tie a bomb around his neck and say, you have to do this before X, Y, Z. And then we'll take the bomb off your neck. It's fucking insane.
The whole
Joker
thing
type
is
shit.
like, the whole thing of this is the guy who's actually executing this, is he a suspect or is he a victim? And it's incredibly interesting.
Wow.
Maybe we should do an episode on this and bring Erica back for it.
I'd be down for that.
People love the Slenderman episode.
Loaded to the tits with movies for the next 8 weeks.
That's true.
Well,
very true.
I mean, I'll be down to talk about this whenever.
I'm up for it.
We could do a mini episode.
Ooh.
Boom.
My recommendation for the week is a show on Netflix called Safe. It is starring Dexter Morgan, a.k.a. Michael C. Hall, with a really fake British accent, but you can ignore that. It is a mystery thriller. His daughter goes missing and her boyfriend is murdered, and you have to figure out who did what and when and why. The twists and turns throughout are very thrilling, and by the last episode, I was in shock. I had no idea what was happening until the very last minute, and it is very worth a watch.
When you see Michael Hall act, you in the back of your mind still think, okay, this guy's still a murderer. You revert back to the
100%,
Dexter.
100%.
He will always be known as Dexter.
I can't get over that.
Yeah. But he tries to get through that, and this doesn't work, but he tries.
Rate this as a Netflix series.
Ooh. It's a 7. There are parts where it drags. Michael C. Hall's British accent is bad.
Okay. Where's Aeon? What was the one? What was the one we just did that just got canceled? That's not
Altered Carbon.
Altered Carbon. Where do you rate that? I'm just curious.
Probably hard to compare, right?
Yeah, because that was ultra violent.
No, I'm just in terms
they're on the same. They're on the same level
in terms of Netflix series. Okay, so Stranger Things is a 10. Let's just leave it. That's like the kind of the.
Yeah, these are like 7s compared to Stranger Things.
Okay, I'm trying to get a feel for it. Okay,
fair enough. Can we end this because we've been here for fucking 2 hours and 15 minutes?
Right, and that is why Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants is pure pornography. Thanks for listening, guys. We can't wait to have you guys back for next week's episode, but that's all I got. So chumps out, motherfucker!
Peace.
Bye.